Hello, good evening, everybody, and welcome to this Parents' Evening for all of you, particularly those of you who are new, and also to a lot of our parents whose children in EYFS this next year are already parents here. We've got quite a large number of siblings, but welcome to you all. It's lovely to host this evening, and I'd like to introduce you to the team. First of all, my name's Neil Garrett, and I'm the head teacher here at Elworth. I may have met some of you, but I'm looking forward to meeting all of you. And it is a shame that we can't do this in person like we usually do. But I really do think this is a great way of communicating to you tonight. So I'd like to introduce you to the team. First of all, I'd like to introduce you to Mrs. Buckley, who's my acting deputy head. And she, over the last 6 years, has developed our EYFS to what we consider to be an outstanding place for your child to start their education. So evening to Mrs. Buckley. And I'd also like to introduce you to Miss Healy, who next year will be one of the teachers and also is the lead of EYFS for next year. So welcome to Miss Healy.
Good evening.
I'd also like to welcome Miss Pepper, and Miss Pepper is the other teacher alongside Miss Healy. And also just to say, Mrs. Pepper's little boys at school, as are my children. It's going to be my little boys' first year at school next year. So you'll see me both as parent and head teacher, which is very, very unusual. And I hope this evening's really helpful for you all. We're really hoping that we can answer all your questions. There's a number of things set up. Mrs. Buckley and Miss Healy are going to do a presentation all about life in EYFS. And then following that, we're going to have an open time of questions, which you can type into the chat. And Mr. Rogers is in the background. He's our IT lead at our school, and he'll be organising those questions so that we can answer them for you. And please feel free, if you're a parent, you're already a parent at school, and it's a sibling who's joining us in September, please use your experiences to ask questions which you may already know the answer to. That's absolutely fine, but you think it'll be helpful for new parents to hear us explain that. So I'm just going to introduce you to Elworth a little bit more, and then I'm going to pass over to Mrs. Buckley. But why is Elworth so unique? And we feel that, you know, our school is a very, very special place. We love it dearly. And on the next slide, I've just written two things that are part of our mission statement. The first one is the one that we use all the time, and the children know it really well, which is to love God, to love learning, and to love one another. And we feel that embodies everything that is about this school. And then we use the second one really more as staff, that we're trying to train children to aspire to being better people and not trying to gain stuff, but by being bigger within, really, and being strong characters. And we do that by the next slide is using these R's. And these R's are absolutely critical in our curriculum: resilience, resourcefulness, reflectiveness, readiness, and responsible. And we really only have two rules at our school, which are underpinned by this. The first one being wonderful walking. We teach the children that everything they do, it's about the way they present themselves. So we teach them to sort of stand and walk, and we teach the children how to talk to each other. So the second one is terrific talking, and we teach them how to say hello in the morning. You might hear me or Mrs. Buckley on the gate teaching children to look at each other and say good morning, and bring that joy that comes when we're actually really kind and welcoming. And underpinning that is these 5 R's, and they're absolutely key. And in all the different activities we do, there's an element of one of these R's that we're trying to train the children to be. Underneath that is the fact that we're a Christian school, and that's at the heart. So on the next slide, the heart of everything that we are is conveyed through these 12 Christian values. And so we have a chaplain at school, Catherine, and she's also the church, family and children's worker. And between the two of us and the other staff, we lead worship and thoughts for the day every day. And we focus on these values across the year. So we teach the children about being generous, about being compassionate, about having courage and being adventurous, about being forgiving in the situations where if you hold on to stuff, it makes you angry, but actually you can learn to forgive, to develop friends, to be respectful, to be thankful, to put your trust and to be trusting, to persevere and try hard. Actually, what is justice and what is fair, and that's so important for children to understand that, to serve each other, and then to be truthful and to be true to themselves. And so our children are at the heart of our school. And on the next slide, there's just a little picture there. It's we've got so many of these pictures in our school of groups of children doing great and amazing things. And this little group here is just demonstrating the fun that we have at Elworth. And I love that picture. We've got lots like this. But if people say to us, what's special about our school? We don't really talk about lots of other things apart from our children. So on the next slide, I have to put in the dreaded word Ofsted, because I'm sure when you were checking out our school, you looked at our last Ofsted report, which is obviously 3 years ago, and we've changed a lot since then, hopefully for the better. But we've certainly changed in bits of our character as we grow as a school and as a staff. And just those 3 comments there are 3 things that we're really, really happy about. That we have a very, very strong team, and that's from the leadership down. We trust in each other as leaders and as teachers. We have great friendships as a staff. So there's that feeling amongst the school, which is wonderful. The second point there about how great our EYFS is, and we're so proud of our EYFS and into year 1. It's an incredible place to be. And I'm so excited for my son to be starting in September. And then finally, the behaviour of children at our school. And we work tirelessly to teach children how to behave. It's a strange one, that, because you can focus on maths and English and science and all the rest of it, but if children don't behave well, if children don't learn how to behave, if children don't appreciate what's good behaviour, then the rest of it really is secondary. And you're never going to get great mathematicians if they've got poor attitudes. So we spend a lot of time teaching children about behaviour, and we spend a lot of time with children trying to help them develop their good behaviour. On the next slide, we had a visit a little while ago from the HMI. These are inspectors that go around school, very, very experienced inspector, Pippa Jackson-Maitland. And she used some words which we were so proud of about our school. She said about the word relentless. She used the word overwhelming majority. And they were just lovely things that we felt very proud of. And although we don't need people to tell us that, we know we're a good school. We know that. It's lovely when somebody validates that. And so we're very proud of those validations that we've had. And then finally, the Christian side of our school, we have an inspection every few years. And this is called a SIAMS inspection. And again, in there, you see some words there about the way in which the school's organised, about God being at the centre, about how people flourish, about children's well-being, about morale, about relationships, about children being rooted and having good character, and about how we're caring and nurturing. And we're just so proud of words like that, because that for us is why we want all the children at our school to learn and do well. Because if those words are commonly used about how those children are learning and how those children are believing in themselves, then honestly, we have done our job well, and we're so proud if that is the case. And next, just a few little elements on the last few slides I'm going to show you, which we've developed over the last 5 years, really. 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when I became head teacher, this is something that is absolutely foundational to what I believe as a head teacher, and this is only growing at our school. The gentleman you see in the picture there is one of Cheshire's leading outdoor teaching advisors, John Thorpe. He works at various different centres, outdoor centres, and he also works for me 1 day a week. So he's part of our staff 1 day a week, and he advises us on our outdoor curriculum and leads teachers in providing opportunities like this. And this opportunity here was actually a sleepover from a few years ago, which we were doing with a group of children. And we were actually looking at bats and the life of bats. And so we were watching and listening to the bats, and we had a bat specialist come in, and John had arranged that, and we had an incredible evening. But there's lots of experiences at our school which don't take place inside the classroom. They take place outside the classroom. And when you come into our EYFS, you can see the outdoor environment is much bigger than the classrooms. And really, that is our focus for teaching. We believe getting outside is absolutely the best place for children to learn. And when we come inside, it's for us to consolidate that. You know, classrooms can be quite boring places. But let me tell you, going down to the river, going to play out on the outdoor play equipment, going digging, going planting. They're all places where children thrive and enjoy. And so we try to use the classrooms to embed that learning. But this is absolutely key to who we are as a school. The next one is a little bit about our family. We treat our school as a family. The classrooms, the classes themselves are families. So you get the EYFS family. We talk about them as families. The children live like families. They are like little brothers and sisters to each other. They've got 7 years together. So we try and develop their friendships and their love for each other. And we know that there's challenges having 30 children in a class or 60 children in EYFS. But within that 60, they're going to find lifelong friends, and we're going to nurture that and help that. And we're going to encourage you, obviously, to develop those friendships at home, to have children round to your house when we can, to have those parties in the garden, to go out on walks together, just like we do in school. We'll be really hopeful your child develops a stronger group of friends through being in EYFS and into year 1, and that they thrive. They thrive through friendship, and that's a key determiner in our school is friendship and relationship with the teachers and with the other children. Absolutely key. The other part of it is we spend a lot of time talking about the Christian values, and that's really God in us. And these children here, this is a day when we talked about the Holy Spirit. What would it be like if the Holy Spirit lived in you? And we talked about the character of God, how God is loving, how God is kind, how God cares for you. And we've talked about how we can be like that for each other. So our understanding of Christianity at this school is very much born out of how we behave towards each other. It's all about what we do and how we talk and how we behave. And this is an expression that when the Holy Spirit's in us, we do kind things, we do wonderful things for each other. And hopefully your children are going to learn lots and lots about how to be better people through their understanding of God in them and God in us as a community. And finally, probably one thing I just want to leave you with is that starting at this school, you are going to read and read and read. As parents, we're going to ask you to engage in so many different reading activities with your children. And they're going to bring books after books after books home, multiple books. And some nights when you come in from work and it's 7:15 like it is now, and your child sat there with 2 books, and you've got to fill in that reading diary with the last thing that you want to do. But let me tell you, if children become good readers, they become good leaders, they become good learners, they become good writers, they become good mathematicians. They love just learning. And so if we can turn them on to reading right at the beginning of their life here at school, if we can get every child immersed in reading, they are going to become great learners in the future. So certainly when I'll pass over to Mrs. Buckley now. Mrs. Buckley is going to talk about the practical elements of being in EYFS, and I'm sure she's going to mention reading and phonics, and probably Miss Healy will too. But I just want you to remember that the love of reading at our school is at the heart of our work. So I'm going to wave off at this point and hand over to Mrs. Buckley, and but at the end we'll have time to answer some questions for you. But I hope tonight that you're going to find this really informative and really helpful. And if everything technological works tonight, we'll be able to show you our little virtual tour, which I know some of you have been waiting for. Mr. Rogers, if you can get it working, we'll watch that at the end, or there'll be a link for you to watch it at home at the end. And you can see it's a very child-centered video, which the children have helped make about our school. So over to you, Mrs. Buckley.
Hello and welcome to EYFS. Starting school is a big step in your child's life. It's an exciting time, but it can be an anxious time as well. So tonight I'm going to give you lots of information about what the transition from preschool nursery to school is going to look like. And first of all, on this slide here, there's a link to the Elworth CV Primary School website. And on the website, there's a transition tab. And under that transition tab, there's lots and lots of information about starting school. A few of the documents I will refer to tonight. Next slide, please. So this term, we've organised a number of activities to support the transition to make it as smooth as possible. So obviously tonight we've got the welcome meeting. Then next week and the week after, we'll be doing the Getting to Know You Google Meet sessions. And they're a really lovely opportunity for you to meet me and for me to get to know you and your child. And what I'll do is I'll have a few little questions for your child. I might ask them to go and get their favourite toy and to tell me what they like, who the friends are, and then you'll have the opportunity to ask any questions. After the Google Meet sessions, we'll have 2 stay and play sessions where your child will have the chance to come into school, to their classroom, to meet their teacher and to play in the learning environment and to meet the children that they'll be with in school. I'll also be organising preschool and nursery visits as well, so that I can speak to your child's key worker, find out what they like, what they enjoy, what they might need help with, and that will help us again with the transition to school. Next slide, please. Okay, following the Getting to Know You sessions and the preschool visits, what I will do is I will place the children into a class. So we've got 2 classes in reception. We've got class 10 and class 11. Each class has 30 children. So what I'll do is I'll use the information that the key workers have told me and what you've told me on the Google Meets, and I'll put those classes together and I'll make sure that in your child's class, I'll have at least one friend with them. But with our EYFS, we've got a shared outdoor area and we do lots of theme days as well together. So your child will get to mix with the other class all the time. So please don't worry if some of their friends are in the other class. Next slide, please. Okay, so Mr. Garrett's already introduced us earlier. So the teachers in EYFS are myself, Miss Healy and Mrs. Pepper. Next slide. Next slide, please. In September, the first few weeks, we've also carrying on the transition process. So what we've got is a staggered start. It's a short staggered start over week 1 and week 2. So on the first day, which is Thursday, the 2nd of September, your child will arrive at school at 8:55 in the morning, and that session will end at 12 o'clock. So it's a morning session, and during that session, we'll have lots of activities in the classroom. We'll have the construction, the small world out, the sand and water, creative play as well. And they'll also be able to access the outdoor area. We'll have story times, we'll do the register, and it'll be a lovely introduction into school life. On Friday, the following day, your child will do the same. It's 8:55, but it's going to be a little bit later till 12:45 because on that day, they're going to stay for lunch. So we're just gradually introducing something else for them. The following week, they're going to be doing mornings. So your child will arrive at school at 8:55 and then they will leave at 1 o'clock. Week 3, you'll be in full time. So the school day is 8:55 in the morning till 3:05. Next slide, please. In the transition pack, there's lots and lots of information to help you prepare your child for starting school. And in there, there's a getting ready for school slide show. And in the slideshow, it talks to you about different things you can do to prepare your child, like going for walks past the school, pointing out the school, pointing out the outdoor area, and talking about how exciting school's going to be for your child when they start. There's also some ideas about practical points like learning to get dressed, undressed by themselves for when they do PE at school. Also, early reading, like Mr. Garrett's just mentioned, early reading is really, really important. So there's lots of information about sharing stories, joining in with stories, getting your child to help turn the pages of the book, maybe tracking the text left to right, top to bottom. And when you're out and about, reading everyday signs and notices when you're at the supermarket, when you're going for walks, and also modelling that reading to your child. Early writing skills are also important. So lots of opportunities maybe over the summer to do some mark making with felt tips, crayons, maybe chunky chalks in the outdoor area. We've actually put in the transition pack an alphabet if you wanted to practice writing some letters with your child. And if you do, can you encourage them to hold their pencil correctly and make sure those letters are correctly formed? Also, some ideas in the booklet about developing early mathematical skills like counting, looking for numbers out and about, also recognising shapes, looking for circles, looking for squares. All those things will help your child prepare for starting school. Now I'm going to hand over to Miss Healy.
Hi everyone. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to talk about tonight is the school uniform. So we actually have two providers for the school uniform, one of which is Badge Clothing, and they've actually got a shop over towards Haslington. And the other one is LA Clothing, which is an online provider. But if you go to our school website, there's lots of information about where you can get the uniform from on there. Next slide, please. Next slide again. Thank you. So the next thing we're going to talk about is snacks. So when your child starts school in September, there's two options. Your child could either bring a snack from home, which needs to be a healthy snack, or they can choose from, they can have a school snack instead. So our school snack at the moment is different every day. It's usually a piece of toast or a crumpet or a tea cake. And then they get a choice of drink as well. So it's usually apple juice or orange juice or milk. So that's the other option that we have. And then in the afternoon, there's also a piece of fruit or a vegetable, which is free of charge. So they get a healthy afternoon snack as well. Next slide, please. So lunchtime, so all children in reception in Key Stage 1 are entitled to having a free school meal, which we hope you'll take advantage of. So what we do at school is when the children come in the morning, after we've done the register, we do the lunch choices and the children stand up for whatever it is that they would like to have for lunch. But what you can do at home is the menu is actually available on the school website. So if you have a look with your child, then you can have a discussion, you can have a chat about what they might like to order for lunch that day. So it's nice for them to have an idea of what they would like before they come to school, but also so that you can see what your child will be having every day. Next slide, please. So in early years, we have our own curriculum, which is the early years foundation stage. And for the past couple of years, we've used a program called Tapestry. So Tapestry is a digital learning journey, and we use it to observe and track your child's progress throughout the year. And what we do is we have iPads and we use them to take photographs and videos and observations, which we link to all the early years outcomes. But it's really lovely because you can access it from home, so you can see what your child has been doing at home. So when your child comes home at the end of the day and you ask them what they've been doing, and sometimes I know they say, oh, I don't know, you can actually have a look at what they've been doing in school. But it's nice because then the children can share those experiences with you. And you get to see all the memorable moments and all the exciting things that we've been doing at school. Next slide, please. So you will have been sent some forms through email. So there's an admissions form, there's a parental consent form and a pupil premium form. So if you could get these back to us as soon as possible, and then we can update your contact information on Arbor with your most up-to-date contact details, and also so that we can sort out your media and photograph consent as well. Next slide, please. Now, pupil premium. So pupil premium is the sum of money that's given to school each year. And this spend is overseen by Mr. Garrett and Mrs. Buckley, and they oversee all of the spending of the pupil premium. And the idea is that it's a government scheme and it's to improve the attainment of disadvantaged children. But the money can be used to benefit everyone, but the school actually just reports on the impact of the eligible children. But there's a lot more information that you can find about that on the school website as well. Next slide, please. And the last thing at school, we have a really lovely before and after school club, which is called Early Birds and Night Owls, which your child can access when they start school in September. And again, if you go to our school website, you can find lots of information about it on there. And now I'm going to pass it back over to Mrs. Buckley, who's got some more information for you.
I hope you found all the information really useful this evening. You can find further information on the Elworth EYFS Facebook page, Twitter, and the Elworth CV Primary School website. Now, the Facebook page is in the process of being set up, so please, please, please check your emails and make sure as soon as you get an email to sign up for the Facebook page that you fill that in. Because what we'll do is we'll put up-to-date updates and news on that to keep you updated with the transition and what's going on at school. Also, just again, by just checking your emails, I know an email's gone out about Tapestry. If you could fill that in as soon as possible so we can get your children set up on Tapestry. And what we would really like you to do, once your child is on Tapestry, can you fill in the All About Me sheet so that we've got lots of information about your child in addition to what we found out on the Google Meets and from our preschool visits. You've also had a letter, and I know a lot of people have already signed up. You've got one about setting up a Google account. Please can you complete that and get set up so that you can obviously join in with the Google Meets over the next couple of weeks. Thank you very much. And I'm going to pass over to Mr. Garrett.
It's great when you get passed over to and you're thinking, well, actually, was it me that was supposed to do this ending little bit? I want to just talk about one or two things that Mrs. Buckley and Miss Healy have mentioned, actually. And the first one that's really important is the pupil premium. And the reason I want to mention that is because in past years, quite a number of parents have actually applied for pupil premium later on in their child's life at school. And actually, we've missed out on a considerable amount of funding. Now, just to perhaps illustrate that as best as possible, it's there for families that they think are economically disadvantaged. That's the government. So if you think you're on a low wage, or if you think that actually you've got perhaps benefits for certain things, that is exactly the sort of target that they're looking for to help families with any of those benefits. So please, when you get the information, don't be shy just to fill in that form. If you're not going to get the pupil premium, we'll find that out, that's fine. But we're very happy to send that off and apply and help you apply, because when the money does come to school, we can use it really successfully to help. And one or two things that we offer if you do get pupil premium monies, we like to support buying uniform, we like to support we do lots of trips in EYFS, so we like to support the payment of trips, residentials later in school life. To be fair, anything that we think will help your child learn, and that could be technology. So, please do not hold back in filling in the pupil premium form. Just do it. And, if we're not successful, the difference it makes to our budget is incredible. And it really does make a difference to learning and to the environment that we're getting the children to learn in. So please do that. Now, Mr. Rogers is in the background there. I know you can't see him, but he's very busy trying to organising it. And he's going to now organise our questions. So please use the chat, and we're going to try. We're going to try and answer the questions as they come into the chat. So I'm just checking that Miss Healy and Mrs. Buckley can see the questions coming in.
Okay, I can see that one. All the forms are on the transition website, so you can download them, fill them in and send them back to school. So if your child is ill, what you need to do is you need to phone the school in the morning and obviously let reception know, let them know what your child's ill with, and obviously they'll pass that message on to the teacher. But it is really important that you do phone before school starts.
And yeah, don't be afraid. If the line's busy, just leave a message, and the messages are all taken, and then that's altered on the register. So don't worry about that.
Will my child start swimming in September? Right, so the reception children don't go swimming in the autumn term, but hopefully they will start swimming in the summer term, and they'll have a weekly swimming lesson with Mrs. Coburn, who is our fantastic swimming teacher. It's always lovely to take the children over. They go over in small groups, and they do lots of fun things in the water and become confident with swimming. We need lots and lots of parent helpers as well for swimming. So that's something to think about when your child starts school, is maybe filling in a DBS so that we know that you'll be able to help when swimming starts.
Okay, so is morning snack free in EYFS?
So I was going to say, so no, the morning snack's not free. The afternoon snack is free though. So if you'd like in the morning, you can either have the school snack, which you do have to pay for, or you can bring a healthy one in from home instead.
Okay, so John's asked a question about why sessions are not taking place on the dates that the Year 6 pupils are going to the secondary schools as other primary schools are in Sandbach. So, Mrs. Buckley, do you want to answer that one?
It's obviously just following with our timetable. So the stay in place sessions, we're going to hold those 2 sessions after school because obviously we've got COVID restrictions and risk assessments in school. So what we're hoping to do is once the children have left in the day, we will clean the classroom, spray all the toys so that your children can come into the school and play with the toys, enjoy the environment in a safe way.
Well, the school's behaviour management policy, I'd like to use the word positive, first of all. Please, Miss Healy and Mrs. Buckley, Julie and Miss Pepper, we like to really discuss behaviour with the children. We like to teach them about behaviour. And we also like to reward. I mean, positive reward is massive for us. So we try to focus on all the children who are doing well. And actually there's lots of evidence to say that if you pick up on the children who are doing really well and behaving really well, that others just follow that role model. The more you make that role model a focus, everybody follows it. So I suppose there is a little bit there of the sheep following the sheep, but it's very true. It's very easy to focus on the one negative thing and not on the others that are being positive. And we've tried to turn our thinking around over the last few years. And a lot of it is about rewards now. So when it does come to sanctions, it's very much sanctions which are related to what was wrong or what was done that was wrong. So it's very relative and it's very open in terms of discussion with the children. So we tend to discuss with the children what they did wrong, why they did it. We ask them very straight questions why they did it. And then we ask them to try and express perhaps what they could have done differently. And then also we try and put a consequence in place which is specific to what it was that they were doing wrong. So we tailor it to that. And the idea is that next time, what would you do next time? So Mrs. Buckley or Miss Healy, do you want to come in and add to that?
I was just going to say then, when the children start school, when they are the age of 4, they are learning the rules and routines, and actually they're learning how to manage their feelings and emotions. So we do a lot of work, a lot of social skills work, do a lot of circle time to teach actually those skills. We do a lot of modelling with the children as well, and use books and puppets to support that teaching of how we behave in school, what kind hands are, what kind feet are, and we are very, very positive in school. Our behaviour policy is positive. We use the Incredible Years behaviour policy where we reward positive behaviour, and then if a child has stepped outside obviously the rules of the classroom, we deal with that positively. And like Mr. Garrett's just said, if a consequence is needed, it's a natural consequence to what has actually happened. Ideally, yes, it would be great if your child could stay for both stay and play sessions, because at the different stay and play sessions will introduce different things in the classroom. So we've actually planned out those 2, so they are separate. So if you can make both stay and play sessions, that would be brilliant.
John's just asked there, how has the school improved communication since earlier Ofsted reports? I think some of it is by understanding how to communicate. So the use of online platforms. We now have a communication tool which allows teachers to communicate with the parents in their classes. So actually we've got multiple messages going out to different classes from different teachers, which has helped a lot. There's still the generic information that goes out from the office from my end, which is to all the school or to specific groups, probably weekly that goes out, or fortnightly if it's the newsletter. But actually it's the in-between communication which has really improved. So your class teacher talking to you about things coming up in your class, that's been the biggest improvement. So we do get 1 or 2 people who complain that there's too many forms of communication now, so you're sort of you can't win sometimes. But I think that's always been, the busier we are, I think it's more challenging, isn't it, to help to get communication right. So we try and use as many platforms as possible, and obviously the Facebook page will be very helpful to you, I'm sure.
Oh, right. Yes. So, yes, in the past, the parents have often come in with the children for the stay and play sessions, but because of obviously COVID regulations at the moment, that's just not going to be possible. So, yes, the children will come in on their own for the stay and play sessions, but there's going to be lots of adults to support them as they come into the session. Yeah, I'm sure if you can't attend the one-to-one online meet sessions, I'm quite happy to organise odd ones outside those that scheduled timetable. Again, with the similar answer to the question before, if you want to contact me, we can try and organise something so that at least we can have a chat before your child starts school. Yes, you need to send the forms back via email to admin@Elworth CV Primary School. Right, so yes, we've got 2 classes of 30, and what we do when the children come into the class, we look at the children, and we do have them in smaller groups, but that doesn't mean they stay in that group all the time. The children play when we do busy bee time, they're interacting with the other children in the classroom, but if for teaching activities, they may come over in a smaller group, and those groups can change. Also, as well, we do daily phonics, and we have reading groups. So again, those children are once we've started on the phonics program, will be grouped according to their ability in phonics. So is the school a nut-free environment? So if your child has a nut allergy, and then if you let the school know, and what we will do is we will fill in a medical care plan to make sure that your child is safe at lunchtime and in the classroom. So if you want to speak to me about that, either when we have the Google Meets or through a telephone conversation, that's absolutely fine. So what we will do with any child who has an allergy, we fill in a medical care plan to make sure that they are safe within the school environment. The Google Meet sessions are for the child and the parents. So it's a chance for us to get to know your child. What we would normally do is we'd normally come to your house, and that's why we call them the home visits, and we'd meet you at home. And it's just such a nice way to meet the children on that one-to-one basis, rather than actually straight away in the classroom. And what's so lovely about them as well is when the children do come into the classroom, we know everybody's name, we know a little bit of information about them, and it just really, really helps that transition. If you wanted to speak to me separately when your child wasn't there, that's absolutely fine. Just email me and we can organise a telephone conversation. Okay, so I think that's all the questions. So it's been really lovely to speak to you tonight, but like Mr. Garrett said earlier, it's not the same as normal because we've not actually met you. So I'm going to say I can't wait to meet you and your child, and I hope that your child has a really happy and successful transition into school. Mr. Garrett?
Yeah, definitely, and it's an exciting time. I mean, this is one of the evenings we most love in the year, when we actually all meet each other, and we often have some brilliant conversations going on between parents who have already been part of our school for the last few years, who've got some older siblings, and then the new parents. And that's the lovely thing when you make friends. You meet people tonight who are going to be friends, family friends for a long time, 7 years that you're part of this school. So it's a shame that we can't do it differently, but let's hope for something different next year. I don't know, Mr. Rogers, I'm sort of firing back to you in the background there. Is it possible to put the video on at the end, or are we just going to put a link up?
Hello, Hello, my name's Mr. Garrett. I'm the head teacher of Elwood CV Primary School, and I'd like to welcome you to our virtual tour of the school. I hope you enjoy it, and I look forward to meeting you.
Welcome to Elwood CV Primary School! Yay! Come and join us for our virtual tour!
In our reception year, we endeavour to promote curiosity and delight in learning. We provide a broad and balanced curriculum that will enable each child to develop personally, spiritually, physically, creatively and intellectually to their full potential. Reading is an important part of the EYFS and Key Stage 1 curriculum. The children have daily read-writing phonics lessons where they learn new sounds using actions and lively mnemonics. The children read daily using reading books matched to their current learning in phonics.
We have an amazing friendship with our teachers, and the IT is brilliant because we have iPads, laptops and VRs.
I love lunchtime because we get out all our amazing equipment like cricket, football, hurdles and skipping.
I love the school because there's forest school, and in forest school we get to do loads of amazing stuff. My best memory of it is when we made a stew and ate it in the den.
At Elwood, we have a designated PE team which teaches PE across the school. The PE team hope to instil a love of moving and being active, whether that be in the pool, in PE sessions or representing schools in competitions. We are a partnership of school, home, church and the community. Children are at the heart of our successful school, where staff, governors and families all contribute to our vibrant learning community through support, shared knowledge, enthusiasm and mutual respect. Our vision statement is love God, love learning, love one another, based on Matthew 22 verses 34 to 36.
Hi, I'm Catherine and I'm school chaplain, and this is We've been doing some really cool Christian club handshakes I'm going to show you. So, first of all, we've got Ruby and Annabelle. Stand over here. Make sure the camera can see you.
Christian Club!
Woo! And next, the boys.
Christian Club!
Yay! And then we have some girls.
Christian Club!
Yay! And finally, you two. Yeah!
We've got iPads, laptops, Chromebooks and a virtual reality kit. All of our devices are used across the school on a daily basis. We offer a variety of instrument tuition for children in Key Stage 2. At Elworth, we have adopted a mastery approach to the teaching of maths, whereby children are given a deeper and broader understanding of the key mathematical concepts, rather than being accelerated quickly through new content. Pupils enjoy their lessons and become confident mathematicians. This is an exciting time to be at Elworth, as a lot of classrooms are being upgraded. We have 4 new classrooms in Key Stage 2 with state-of-the-art technology to support teaching and learning. hope you've enjoyed the virtual tour of Elwood CV Primary School. We look forward to welcoming you and your child to our school family in September.
Well, thank you all for joining us tonight. It's a privilege really to be able to have this evening and to talk to you about probably one of the most special and poignant moments of any parent's life, which is choosing the school and then that whole start to a new school. Certainly there'll be memories and photos from these first days that will never be forgotten. So we're really as a team looking forward to meeting you and working with you for the next 7 years and helping your child to not only discover all the things that they're going to love in life, or lots of things they're going to love in life, but also some of the hidden talents and some of the special skills and gifts which they're going to show as they learn at Elwood. So we're really excited about getting to know your child, meeting you and your family. So it's best wishes from all of us. We hope you have a great few weeks. Look forward to seeing you at the stay and play sessions. And obviously Mrs. Buckley will be there at the home visits, the virtual home visits. And again, don't if it's a trouble, if it's difficult, those home visits, don't forget to contact us, and we'll arrange some separate times for you so that we can have them. They're absolutely key that we get those home visits in place. So it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye. Look forward to meeting you next week.
Bye, everyone. Look forward to
Thank
seeing
you,
you
thank you,
soon.
Mr. Rogers, for organising the evening. So thank you, Mr. Rogers, in the background for making it work.